Rahim. I am Ansar Gilani, English commentator on entire sports, and particularly I do work on cricket. You are well aware that the World Cup of cricket is going to take start at England and Wales 30th of May 2019, where 10 teams, 10 countries are going to participate. This World Cup is going to be played on the basis of Robin Round League, where all the teams are to meet each other, and every team is to play 9 matches. Pakistan is already at England and playing one of the T20 and 5 of the ODIs, and Pakistan's team is facing nowadays somewhat harsh criticism across the board, and all the media is pitting on them that what they are doing, but they are not looking at their positive that is coming out of them, that and consecutively they went for 3 of the times more than 300 runs. There was a time when we were just dreamer, and now we are achiever. That crossed the 300 psychological barrier, and it was somewhat difficult to reach around 300, and we were the player of 200, 250 and 60, 70, but we have taken somewhat jump and crossed the bar and reached into a very easy zone where somewhat progression is coming on, and we are at the improvisation. Slowly and gradually our players are getting roots at the wicket, and they are playing confidently, particularly Imamul Haq, Babar Azam, Haras Sohail. They have become solid and concrete and much established batsmen, and now Pakistan at the top order, particularly at these 3 players, could trust well. 2 of the other seniors, Shoaib Malik and Muhammad Hafiz, Professor Hafiz, they have all also joined Pakistan team, and now they are at the giving of better contribution. Lastly, that the match played, it appeared to be a productive one. They did well, and they patronized the team and made their efforts and gave their somewhat guidelines to inspirational skipper, and they added an experience and benefited at the best of their skill work. This would be an addition to understand the circumstances at the question at the spot, and now he is not all alone, rather he is getting the support of his top class supporting players. He is not now on the thinking alone, but he would be getting somewhat support from the seniors when the crisis comes there. Though we lost the 3 of the matches and we have lost the series and against England, but we are under preparations, and all the preparations are going well. We were somewhat lacking and feared enough about the that our batting is not working well, but it's going well. Now we are somewhat lacking at the bowling, needs somewhat improvement. But the question is here that English grounds somewhere are very shortened one. The way we watched the fourth one ODI, it was played on just like a football ground. It might have been the football ground in the past and turned into a cricket match that looks oval and nowhere balanced. And English players know it well that where they are to make the strike, where they are to set the field, and they are to get the advantage and to stop the aggressive players on their attacking. And but when England was doing the job, Pakistan could not set the right kind of field, and our bowlers were also lacking somewhat support there. And on the leg side, you can say it was somewhat narrowly reaching the wicket area, and but the bowlers were doing the balls at the leg side, and they were smashing onto the leg side quite easily. They were to put the ball onto the on side so that would restrict them. But this is somewhat lacking area where we are to more work together, and we are to improve where somewhat ground's shape and sizing and somewhat changes are at the facing. Many of the things are to be kept in the mind. We should not only trust on that we have one of the best bowlers in us, and they could change the table, they could change the scene. Rather, we should read the situations at the spot, and we should work on them, particularly the weather conditions and the new ball Kookaburra, that is considered to be, when it is at the earlier hours, it becomes very difficult to bat against it. But when the color goes off, its shining goes off after 5 to 6 hours, it becomes very easy to attack on it. And a shapeless ball, a colorless ball, become easy to prey on it, attack on it. And there are some more things to be kept in the mind. We should have a shared intelligence there, shared experiencing there. And sometimes we note that when the bowlers are under harsh treatment, our captain gives up and just stays behind the wickets and looks at what's going on and does not intervene and ask them and encourage them and makes them stay strong and think hopeful. He should come forward as a captain, the way the captains are known for, because cricket all depends at the captain's role. If captain is at the fallen, he gets discouraged, he goes off color, and if he is in trouble, what we could think of the rest of the flock. So players are to depend on the captains, and captain is to uh, be somewhat aggressive, somewhat proactive, be there. As compared to the previous matches, we went well yesterday, but still we had somewhat lacking areas. We left 3 of the catches when Hasnain was doing his best. Hasnain produced the pace. He kept the balls at the right areas because he is a hot chick, a rising star, and he is a bit lacking at the experience. His best area and best thing that is to done is to keep the balls at the Yorker areas. His best weapon should be and could be the Yorkers. The rest of things he is to learn more, but he could be a better bowler of the wider grounds, because yesterday when they just clicked him and it appeared to be a boundary, and somewhere we were not giving somewhat right kind of responding over his bowling. Catches were being dropped, and fieldings were there somewhat at the missing, and resultantly boundaries have been going there. Somewhere he gave some full toss like that, and he got the harsh treatment, but he is a learner and just appearing on the international scene in a shorter span of time, but we haven't find any lapse in him. Somewhere he got weaker, but he was brave enough and truly motivated, and went with highest order of his pace, and tried to extract the fire out of deadened track. England, where this all World Cup is to be taken start, they have made the deadening wickets. All the wickets are batting paradise. The all of the uh, ICC objective is to make this one World Cup entertaining one and a glamour one driven, and that is to, you can say, give a better recipe and recreation for the sitting audience, fans and the lovers of the sports, cricket sport, and their objective is to be achieved just to entertain the audience, and bowlers all will be under harsh treatment. They would have to be very very clever and very sharper one if they are to save their face, save their you can say integrity and respect, because bowlers have been, you can say, ruling across the world since the inceptions of Asians, particularly 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, onward 2000, and particularly onward 2010. Cricket appeared to be a very very, you can say, drastic and dreadful act of you can say playing, and things are now under improvement and things are on the way. Plenty of changes have been made, but cricket is going to be a batman player game. You can say bowlers are under strict restrictions, fields restrictions, and bats changes. That cricket is appearing to be just game of a placement, a game of timing, and giving of a right kind of contact at the right time, and that ball turns into boundaries and turns into the flood of the scorings. So cricket as a format of sports, this one is now appearing to be a very very, you can say, heaven ground for the spectators, and the best recipe for them to learn and to watch on what's going on there. And if I talk about at the Pakistani team, they are under improvement, they are under preparations, and they are under preparations since you could say they went in Dubai to play against Australia. But I would like to say they are to win 7 to 9 matches if they are to win the World Cup. For example, they played 5 matches against Australia for World Cup preparations, and they played three side matches in England at the tour there, and they played one, you can say, T20. In this way, five Australia's against Australia match and three side matches. These are 8 and 1 T20, 9, and then they are to play five ODIs, 14, and two of the more matches at the warm up before the World Cup, and this become 16 matches, and they are to play 9 matches in the World Cup. It becomes at the counting 25 matches, and if they are to win 6 to 7 matches, they will reach at the semi-final, and if they win the match of semi-final, they will uh, receive the prize number 8, and if they are to win or they win the World Cup final, it would be the match number 9 around, and it would be the 27 number match. 26 number match will be the semi-final, and 27 number match will be the final, and all around they are to play 27 matches, and out of 27 they are to win overall, you can say, 9 matches if they are to reach to the victory stand. So they are going enough. They made their entire effort yesterday and they went well. They are under improvement, but the main sign of hope and all sign of success is that our batting is returning back to the seat, and hopes are going alive. If our batting goes well, we are already well at the bowling, and if bowling and batting and fielding particularly, that is somewhat a weaker area, is improved at the three areas, if we get improved, who can be at the claim that we could be defeated. Defeat is then very difficult thing for Pakistan's, that is all time and unpredictable. They have been all times very, you can say, mysterious and somewhat that could create suspense along with sensation and excitement. Pakistan is known for to be unpredictable, and they are on the way. The way they clicked in England, they went over 300. It means they could reach around 400, and after three of these early ODIs, we come to know that RS Sohail, Babar Azam, and Inam-ul-Haq, they are trying to get root at the wicket. They are trying to understand how they are to stay at the wickets, and if they go charging, they could change the whole gambit. They could play more faster, and their strike rate could be well, and running rate could also be well. But look that plenty of areas yesterday they missed when balls were quite easy and were on their face, and they could pick up into the boundaries, but they just converted into single and doubles, and they are opening their arms and their stiffness of the body, and later on they will get click. I hope first they are to learn as to how they are to stay at the wicket. Sixes and fours boundaries will be the fashion of the World Cup, but as far as present state of the situation and the match is concerned, they are growing and they are rising, and it's better to stay at the wicket. Though they did not play the way the strike rate, they could improvise, but the thing is that they are able to stay at the wicket. because uh, this is a somewhat difficult and dangerous thing for the other team that is at the playing single and doubles, and then where there is a bad ball must be sent into boundaries, and you can take around 14 to 16, you can say, runs in a over. For example, 3 balls or 3 singles and 2 boundaries, and it become 11 runs. And on the last ball you could also make single or doubles, and in this way 13 runs come. And there will a time come when cricket will turn into 500 runs quite easily, because 16 to 18 runs will be easy to get in a over against any bowler is there. Single and doubles, 3 balls, if to 6 runs, and then 3 ball at the 3 6s or 3 4s. You can understand how cricket is appearing to be a mechanical and machinery kind of act will be in the future, because field restrictions and bowlers, you can say, having no right to as to how they are to stay against the strongest men in the world, and they are having the heaviest one bats, and the bats are also becoming very, you can say, deadly weapon for the players, and for the rivals, particularly the bowlers. And it would be a pity mark in the coming future. So the authorities of cricket must look into it optimistically, that field restrictions and somewhat they would have to change in the cricket. They could make changed, you can say, field restrictions in the international events, and they are to change the restrictions in the series. Their series rules should be country to country visit or series rules should be different than the international events. At the international events, they are to make the cricket entertaining and to bring the people out of their homes and to be made incorporating or a corporate approach to employ on. But they are to must head into it that cricket is appearing to be a mechanical game, and might people lost interest in it. They are to change the rules. At the international events, they could make the batsmen free and bowlers could be taken under restrictions. But at the country to country series, there should be somewhat uh, reshaping of the system that is present in the cricket. And what more to say? Our field is to be improved. Our batting is already under improvement, though they are not better at the improvisation, at the strike rotation, and more strike rate. But I hope during the World Cup matches they will be at the moon, and they will be getting much success. And bowlers, if they come back to their real mark, that is for that they are known for, we hope we will rise and we will command and we will own the cricket grounds. And this is all. I am Ansar Gilani, English commentator at the entire sports, and nowadays working on the World Cup that is gonna take start at England and Wales at the 30th of May 2019. Thank you very much.